Hi, Jeff Cote here with boatingtechtalk.com. We've got a Shakespeare Super Halo, and what we're going to be talking or doing is doing an unboxing. This is a product that our company, Pacific Yacht System, has sold, and Roton Industries have sold at least probably 100, maybe more. I have one on my boat. It's a cell booster. So, full disclosure, cell boosters are not miracle devices. If you don't have a cell connection, this will not create a cell connection for you. And if the cell connection is really, really terrible, this will not make it great. I have to say, having installed hundreds of these devices, a lot of owners get frustrated and are sometimes have maybe really high expectations. So remember, this is not a miracle device, does not create internet on your boat magically. It's a way for us to have a better cell connection. And that's something that, I always, certainly for me on my boat, as I'm trying to work and extend and stay longer, or maybe take an afternoon off but still be able to do emails and do it on my boat. This is a great way when you have a reasonable cell connection to boost the cell signal so that your cellular devices, whatever that be, right, could be even in a tablet or it's a cell phone, is going to have a better connection to the cellular network. But again, disclaimer, this is does not create internet itself and is strictly a booster of cell phones. The Shakespeare Super Halo has been around for a few years. I installed on my boat a few years back. I'm glad I did because I wouldn't have as much connectivity as I would have wanted in a lot of different anchorages here in British Columbia. It's a coastal solution. It works on different bands. It's going to do 4G, 3G, 2G. So that's no problem. Let's start with opening the box, because as I'm opening, I can maybe show you a few things. By the way, also, there are other products that are called Wi-Fi extenders, and that is a separate product. The Super Halo from Shakespeare is really a product to have a little bit of mobility within a boat. So what it means is that you have an external antenna, which we're going to talk about, you have an internal antenna, and then you have the amplifier. But here's the catch. The further away you are from that internal directional antenna, and I'm going to emphasize that in a little bit, the signal does degrade quite a lot. So you can't be putting this device in a really, really large boat and expect miracles and be far away from it. To be honest, on my boat, I try to stay as close to the directional antenna as possible. And sometimes if my cell connection is really important to me and it's a really bad space or place where I am, I'm actually going to have my cell phone directly in front of that directional antenna, and I might have a Bluetooth headset for a phone call, or what I'm going to do with this device is I might have my cell phone in front, create it as a hotspot, and then my laptop is somewhere else. So I'm actually going from laptop over Wi-Fi to cell phone. Cell phone is taking a Wi-Fi and it's hotspotting, and then it's using this device to go outside world. So that's how I can be able to work remotely on my boat, which is a dream. And without it, I wouldn't be able to do that. So again, Shakespeare is a huge player in the marine industry. They do antennas galore. They've got a huge, their website is pretty extensive, and we use their products all the time. So this is their Shakespeare Super Halo. So the first thing you'll notice when you open the box, you've got the instruction manual. Also notice what they're giving you actually a lot of stuff. They're giving you a mount. Now this mount to install the external antenna, which we're going to talk about, is actually flush mounted, so it would be good on an arch. If you're a sailboater and you want to install this potentially on a bracket on a radar pole or something like that, or you want to install the antenna on the side of the boat, you're going to need a different antenna mount. So this is a flush sort of heavy duty, low profile mount. There are other mounts. It's a standard 1 1/4 inch mount. And again, if this one doesn't work for you, you can buy other ones, but they give you one mount because for most of us, this is going to be the mount we want. The other thing too, we've got a power cable here that is 12 volts. So the good news is the Shakespeare Super Halo is powered by 12, which is important. You'll notice there's 2 cables that we've got here. And they've got both different purposes, and we'll talk about those. So I'm going to put them aside. This is the cell booster. Actually, I'm going to leave that to the side here because I'm going to take everything from the box, and then we can actually, without the box right in front of me, I'm going to have a little bit more space. Because as some of you know, I like to use my hands to talk. It's part of my Latin upbringing, so I can't change that too much. All right, so the first thing I'm going to open up is what's called the directional antenna. So this is the antenna that's inside the boat. There's a lot of caveats when you install this antenna. You just can't install it where you want. You've got to install it where it needs to be. And interesting sound. All right. So this is the mounting bracket to install this directional antenna. And this is the antenna that would be mounted somewhere in your boat. And devices that are sort of facing this antenna are going to have a boosted cell signal. So the term omnidirectional means going in all directions. This is actually directional. So any device that is behind that will not have a boosted cell signal. So the trick is finding a place on a boat where you can mount this where most of the time, most of the devices that need cellular connectivity are going to be in front of it. The challenge is that the external antenna, this antenna right here, you want to mount that as high as possible, but not so high that the cable can't reach. So you can see the cable, there's a longer cable. So you don't want to have the cable, you know, some cell boaters ask me, oh, Jeff, can I install this at the top of my mast? Well, you could, but by the time you calculate the loss of signal along that cable, you would actually undo the benefit, right? Because you can't have a cable forever long and expect the signal to not degrade until it hits the amplifier, which is this right here. So this is the external antenna, and this is an omnidirectional antenna. So this antenna over here allows you to actually get the cell signal from all directions. So this is a directional antenna. On some boats, we'll install this on the spreaders. Now, yes, there are blockage there, but again, it's a sailboat. You know, it's all about compromises. There is no perfect place. Ideally, you'd want this on a stick, at the top of a stick, but a stick not so high that nothing is around it. That's a hard ask, right? So the closest thing might be a radar pole at the back of your boat, and maybe you have the ability to mount this higher than the radar, then that would be an ideal location. And so installing this on a radar pole at the aft of a sailboat would be good. Or if you've got a power boat and, you know, it could be on the radar arch, it could be on the side, no radar arch, and you have maybe a VHF antenna on one side of the fly bridge, you might install this on the other side of the fly bridge, and you might be able to use an extension mount to bring it up higher, right? That's an option. So this is the omnidirectional outside antenna.